Suppose you could open the mysteries of achievement that main the top 20% of workers on the planet know. Privileged insights that could change your profession, develop your business, and transform your fantasies into the real world. Whether you're the chief of an organization, a business visionary with enormous desires, or a worker excited for an advancement, this book is your definitive manual for thinking more astute and accomplishing more. Have you at any point felt stuck, uncertain of how to move toward your objectives? Get savvy. We'll tell you the best way to get through those boundaries by reshaping the manner in which you think. You'll figure out how to accumulate basic data, pursue choices with lucidity, and face certifiable difficulties head-on, all with a mentality intended for progress. This book likewise uncovers an interesting idea, the contrast between sluggish reasoning and quick reasoning. When you comprehend when to utilize every mode, you'll acquire a superpower, the capacity to think decisively in any circumstance, and settle on the best decisions. However, that is not all. On the off chance that you're significant about creating financial well-being, you'll figure out how to take on the propensities for the world's most extravagant individuals, adopt the thought process of a business big shot, and position yourself among the tip-top rare sorts of people who procure millions. Through strong systems, moving stories, and noteworthy stages, this book will direct you toward an existence of independence from the rat race and individual accomplishment. Is it safe to say that you are prepared to figure out how to think more honed, act more intelligent, and accomplish more? How about we make a plunge and find the outlook that can make a huge difference? Informed thinking versus clueless reasoning. In the event that you're thinking about beginning another business, the initial step is to get your work done. You could think you understand what your clients need, yet imagine a scenario where you're off base. Effective dynamic did not depend on presumptions. It requires assembling genuine realities and bits of knowledge, whether it's through Google Look, understanding books, or counseling specialists. Informed speculation generally begins with strong exploration. In any industry, your job shouldn't simply be tied in with conveying results. It ought to be tied in with turning into the most learned individual in your field. Assuming you expect to make enduring progress, you really want to turn into the first point of reference others depend on for help. For instance, envision you have a splendid thought for an item. Many individuals hurry to make the best item without testing the market. Accepting their item is so great, it will change clients' viewpoints. Rather than pushing clients to purchase, set aside some margin to completely explore the market. Envision moving toward a client in a shopping center and finding out if they'd purchase item A, regardless of whether it had a couple of blemishes. Assuming they say no, your thought needs refinement. In the event that they say okay, regardless of the blemishes, you're in good shape. Disappointment is normal in business, and that is not a problem. You could send off an item that isn't helpful to your clients. At the point when this occurs, treat it as learning a potential open door, change your methodology, and begin once more. To push ahead, ask yourself key inquiries. Is there enough interest on the lookout for my item? Is the market adequately large to help solid deals? How might I work on my item to make it more helpful to a bigger crowd? Are clients ready to follow through on a fair cost for what I'm advertising? By responding to these inquiries every day, you'll reliably uncover important experiences. Being clueless or wild prompts disappointment, yet remaining informed gives you a triumphant edge over your rivals. Relax. Over the long run, your way to progress will become more clear. With exhaustive exploration, you'll know basically everything there is to know about your business, and others will trust your arrangement and vision. Nonetheless, having a field-tested strategy doesn't mean now is the right time to unwind. Continuously drive yourself to find out more, remain inquisitive, and get ready answers for likely difficulties. This persistent quest for information and improvement is which isolates the victors from the rest. The more you put resources into informed thinking, the nearer you'll get to accomplishing your objectives, and your prosperity will presently not be an issue of if, yet when. Slow reasoning versus quick reasoning. You've presumably heard somebody say that in the event that you center eagerly around an objective, you can accomplish anything. This is valid in light of the fact that our psyches are unimaginably strong. Did you had any idea that the human cerebrum has the ability to handle around 1,500 words each moment? That is an ability to dumbfound, yet diverting this power requires huge resolution and reliable exertion. The things we pursue day to day at last become routines, and believing is no exemption. By rehearsing both sluggish and quick reasoning, we can improve our thinking skills. When to utilize slow reasoning. Slow reasoning is your partner while confronting complex choices, dealing with feelings like resentment, or cautiously gauging the outcomes of your activities. To develop slow reasoning, have a go at investing some calm energy alone in a room, getting down your viewpoints written down. This propensity urges you to think profoundly and purposely, particularly when high-stakes choices are involved. When to utilize quick reasoning. Quick reasoning, then again, is ideally suited for routine errands like shopping, settling on fast telephone decisions, or messing around. It's programmed, easy, and ideal for circumstances where speed matters more than profundity. To find success, dominating both sluggish and quick reasoning is fundamental, yet the critical lies in knowing when to utilize each. One successful technique to prepare your sluggish reasoning is by applying the GOSPA model. Objectives, goals, systems, needs, and activities. How about we separate it? 1. Objectives. Set clear, quantifiable, and long-haul objectives that line up with your vision for development. On the off chance that you're an entrepreneur, keep your eyes on your objectives, regardless of whether accomplishing them requires years. 2. Goals. In the wake of characterizing your objectives, lay out unambiguous and zeroed-in transient targets that act as venturing stones to your final location. 3. Procedures. Then, think up procedures to accomplish every goal. For instance, on the off chance that your goal is to enlist new representatives, your procedure would include characterizing the moves toward find and select the right contender to get everything taken care of. 4. Needs. Recognize and zero in on the 20% of techniques that will convey 80% of the outcomes. This is the notable 80-20 guideline, which assists you with zeroing in on high-influence activities. 5. Activities. At last, focus on making the important moves. These could be everyday, week after week, or month-to-month undertakings, yet they should reliably draw you nearer to your objectives. The most basic piece of this interaction is remaining on track. Never fail to focus on your objectives, targets, and techniques, regardless of how far off progress might appear. Assuming you let interruptions pull you away, accomplishing your objectives will become incomprehensible. The stunt isn't to continuously think quick or consistently think slow. It's to perceive which sort of reasoning suits what is happening and act appropriately. While controlling your reasoning turns out to be natural, you'll join the positions of those interesting people who can accomplish anything they put their energy into. By adjusting quick and slow reasoning and utilizing instruments like the GOSPA model, you'll foster a mentality that prompts phenomenal achievement. 6. Result-situated thinking versus action-arranged thinking. Have you at any point asked why certain individuals acquire fundamentally more than others in a similar working environment? Concentrates on show that while 20% of laborers acquire millions, the other 80% scarcely make to the point of covering their essential requirements. What makes this gigantic hole? The response lies by the way they approach their work. Most representatives spend their business days being occupied, yet not really useful. They visit with collaborators, look at their telephones, or appreciate expanded breaks. Then again, the top 20% spotlight completely on results. They approach each undertaking with commitment and never stop until they convey the most ideal result. These people have a remarkable capacity to make esteem, which makes them profoundly pursued and generously compensated. To move into this high-acquiring class, the mystery is to embrace result-arranged considering rather zeroing in on exercises. The key is to begin working with reason the second you step into the working environment. One strong procedure to accomplish this is the standard of 3. This basic yet successful strategy can assist you with helping your efficiency and concentration. Whether you work for an organization or maintain your own business, pose yourself one basic inquiry. What are the 3 errands I can do today that will make the most worth? Rather than attempting to handle each assignment on your plan for the day, recognize the 3 most significant ones. In the event that your chief doles out you an extensive rundown of errands, feel free to which ones are the most elevated need. Endeavoring to do all that will leave you dispersed and incapable. How to pick the right errands. Concluding which assignments to zero in on could appear to be overpowering, yet the response exists in you. Ponder your novel abilities and ask yourself how they can add to your organization's prosperity. Center around succeeding at the errands that line up with your assets and have the greatest effect. Endeavor to turn into the main point of reference for those particular obligations. The advantages of centered exertion. At the point when you focus your endeavors on less, high-effect errands, you'll finish them with greatness, yet additionally stand apart as a top entertainer. Your manager will see your accomplishments since they'll be significant and quantifiable. This separates the 20% of laborers who prevail from the rest. Moving to an outcome-situated mentality isn't just about doing less. It's tied in with doing what makes the biggest difference. It's tied in with conveying genuine worth rather than just remaining occupied. At the point when you ace this methodology, you'll open the possibility to acquire more, accomplish more, and draw nearer to the top level of achievement. The excursion to turning out to be important for that tip-top 20% begins with a straightforward inquiry. What results will I make today? Adaptable reasoning versus unbending reasoning. Did you have at least some idea that examination has uncovered adaptability as one of the most fundamental characteristics for progress? Adaptability implies the capacity to adjust rapidly to change. In reality as we know it, where requirements, items, and abilities advance every day, having the option to change yourself to these progressions is critical to making long-haul progress. Assuming you're a worker, you really want to persistently update your abilities to satisfy the new needs of your work. Neglecting to do so may bring about losing your situation to somebody who has the refreshed abilities required. Assuming that you're an entrepreneur, you should remain in front of each and every change and pattern that influences your client's requirements. On the off chance that you don't, your clients will rapidly forsake your item and go to fresher, better choices. Obviously, adaptability isn't discretionary. It's critical. Take the case of financial specialist Gary Becker, who led a concentrate on pay development. He saw that as 80% of individuals increment their pay by 3% every year, a rate so low that it requires a long time to see a huge improvement. Then again, 20% of individuals develop their pay by as much as 11% every year. Going on like this, they twofold their pay each 6 to 7 years. Isn't excessively momentous? In any case, which isolates these two gatherings, the ones who deteriorate at 3% development and the ones who accomplish 11%? Gary found that the top 20% are the people who are continually learning and getting to the next level. They read books, take courses, pay attention to digital broadcasts, and face new difficulties head-on. They reliably ask themselves how they can go about their responsibilities better. Conversely, the leftover 80% seldom put resources into self-awareness. They only hear and read, seldom work on their abilities, and invest their free energy sitting in front of the television or enjoying interruptions. These people go to work, adhere to directions, and return home with no work to move along. Sadly, many in this gathering in the end lose their positions. At the point when that occurs, they find themselves ill-equipped and coming up short on the abilities and adaptability expected to adjust. In any event, when they go after new positions, managers don't find their profiles engaging, leaving them jobless for quite a long time. Might you want to be in the top 20% who twofold their pay like clockwork? This is the way you can get it going. 1. Get out of your usual range of familiarity and take on difficulties that alarm you. 2. Beat the anxiety toward disappointment. 3. Accept that you can learn anything and address your unfortunate behavior patterns. Find work you're enthusiastic about, ace it, and constantly look for chances to develop. Outcome over the long haul arrives at the individuals who embrace adaptable reasoning. It's a definitive device for adjusting, flourishing, and accomplishing unprecedented outcomes. Pioneering thinking versus corporate reasoning. In this day and age, many individuals fantasy about passing on their corporate tasks to become business people. Being a business person implies fabricating a business that centers totally around tackling client needs and conveying esteem. In corporate reasoning, clients are many times seen as a weight, issues that should be overseen or overlooked. This outlook streams down to workers who wind up playing out their errands with insignificant exertion. They don't feel an awareness of certain expectations for the organization's prosperity in light of the fact that their check shows up whether or not they succeed or fail to meet expectations. Then again, innovative reasoning rouses representatives to fill in as though the organization were their own. These people are continuously learning new things and working on their abilities. They perceive their significance to the organization's development, and along these lines, they give their maximum effort in each assignment they attempt. To embrace an innovative outlook, the following are a couple of key practices to follow. 1. Continually survey your work and results. Pose yourself these basic inquiries. What worth does my item bring to the market? Does it take care of my clients' concerns? Does it assist them with accomplishing their objectives? What special advantages does my item offer? 2. Figure out your clients. Jump profound into who your clients are. Ask yourself, who are they? What is their age, area, pay, schooling, and calling? What explicit requirements do they have? The better you comprehend your clients, the more actually you can plan items that address their issues. 3. Foster areas of strength for a technique. Contemplate the most ideal ways to advance and sell your items. Center around gaining new clients, overseeing dissemination, and contacting the right crowd. Create your promoting procedure to engage those able to follow through on the right cost for your item. 4. Embrace change and development. A business person is rarely smug. Consistently assess your strategies, and in the event that things aren't working, make it a point to have a go at a novel, new thing. Achievement comes from ceaseless improvement and variation. 5. Remain modest and centered. One of the greatest snags to progress is inner self. Assuming that you let pride cloud your judgment, you'll battle to recognize what's working and what isn't. All things being equal, center around making the best decision and remain completely dedicated to your objectives. By posing these inquiries and remaining open to progress, you'll move toward making progress. Pioneering believing isn't just about possessing a business. It's tied in with claiming your activities, embracing liability, and endeavoring to convey genuine worth. To prevail throughout everyday life, embrace this outlook. Really buckle down, keep on track, and grow constantly. That is the genuine pith of enterprising reasoning. 6. Rich reasoning versus unfortunate reasoning. Very much like the law of gravity, the law of correspondence expresses that what you find on the planet is an impression of your inward contemplations. To become rich, you should begin thinking like well-off individuals. On the off chance that you don't have faith in your brain that you can accomplish abundance, it's basically impossible that you'll at any point succeed. How about you become rich? On the off chance that your response is indeed, around 50% of the fight is as of now won. Assuming your response is no, now is the right time to transform your perspective. It's straightforward. Assuming you begin thinking and behaving like rich individuals, you'll ultimately become one of them. Everything comes down to building the right propensities and adhering to them. Try not to pursue alternate ways. Well-off individuals generally get up right on time to get an early advantage and outpace others. They immovably trust that in the event that they don't invest the energy and give extraordinary items or administrations to the world, they won't ever accomplish abundance. Effective individuals have useful propensities. They deal with their well-being, family, and work. The majority of them work more than 60 hours per week, frequently with only one vacation day. To embrace the propensities for rich individuals, follow these 7 systems. 1. Center around each propensity in turn. Try not to overpower yourself by attempting to embrace numerous propensities immediately. Pick one propensity, center around it, and stick to it for a whole month. 2. Realize the stuff. Persistently learn and accumulate the information you want to foster the propensity. 3. Make a positive mental picture. Envision yourself effectively taking on the propensity. Positive reasoning makes it more straightforward for your brain to make the right moves. 4. Use perception. Envision the existence you need as a well-off individual. Picture it distinctively and use representation procedures to transform that vision into the real world. 5. Make a move. Begin pursuing the new routine right away. 6. Focus on 30 days. Pursue the routine consistently for basically a month without skipping. 7. Restart assuming you goof. On the off chance that you have a terrible day and miss your propensity, don't surrender. Begin again from the last known point of interest and continue onward. We should investigate Brian Tracy's life. At the point when he was 30, he had no cash. He was concentrating on a chief MBA program at a nearby college. At some point, a well-off business visionary stopped a silver dim 450 SEL Mercedes-Benz before him. Around then, Brian was driving an old Volvo. He was unable to quit gazing at the sumptuous vehicle. The driver saw him, grinned, and waved prior to heading into class. At that point, Brian thought, this should be an extremely well-off man to possess such a costly vehicle. He even recollected the blue cowhide seats in striking subtlety. That day, Brian chose to concentrate on rich individuals' thought process, work, and bring in cash. He began perusing a few hours day to day and worked more earnestly than at any other time. Gradually, he moved up in progress, getting advanced on various occasions until he was acquiring more than his chief. In no less than 3 years, Brian could bear the cost of a pristine vehicle. He picked the specific Mercedes model he had respected, complete with blue cowhide seats. Abundance starts to you. The manner in which you think shapes the manner in which you act, and your activities decide your outcomes. To make monetary progress, take on the outlook and propensities for the affluent. Remain focused on development and trust in your capacity to accomplish significance. End. This book has shown you how to think and research prior to settling on choices in your vocation. On the off chance that your business is intending to send off another item, careful exploration is fundamental. Without it, your odds of coming out on top are thin. You've likewise taken in the significance of involving slow reasoning for difficult choices. Slow reasoning expects you to stop, assess everything cautiously, and go with conscious decisions. Then again, quick reasoning is appropriate for ordinary undertakings, such as choosing another outfit. To find true success, it's vital to comprehend when to utilize each kind of reasoning. Also, this book has shown how working on your abilities and succeeding at your work can assist you with bringing in more cash. At the point when you consistently work on your abilities, you become qualified for advancements and more significant salary. One powerful technique examined in this book is adaptability. By noticing and adjusting to changes on the lookout, you can remain ahead and sell any item effectively. Another technique is to continuously focus on your clients and think like a business visionary. In conclusion, the book underlines the significance of addressing vices. As indicated by the law of correspondence, on the off chance that you think like rich individuals, you'll ultimately become like them. Try to concentrate on their way of behaving and embrace the propensities that made them effective. Change is rarely simple, so begin little. Work on supplanting one propensity every month. Another year is here, making it the ideal opportunity to resolve to change. Ponder what you've gained from this book and begin embracing each new propensity in turn. With commitment and consistency, you'll draw nearer to the achievement and abundance you want.